Kombat Jones, make the call. Make the call.
Call the wise man.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Oh no. Ringside Renaissance. Jesse, ring the bell.
You are now listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast.
And we're back for another episode of Ringside Renaissance. And we're here with the RRW Weekly Review for WWE. And I'm here with pretty, deadly Jesse. Yeah. And I'm Andrew. Kombat Jones. Yeah. We're back.
Yes.
Ringside Renaissance, baby.
Woo! WWE is back. The battle lines have been drawn. Survivor Series draws near. A lot of great things to talk about. Looks like a lot of mid-card titles are being sorted out for the PLE coming up in 2 weeks or 10 days or 11 days or whatever it is from now.
Yep.
November 30th. What a great time to be a WWE fan.
Yeah. Survivor Series is kicking in, baby. Like you said, the battle lines have been drawn, and we're getting that women's WarGames. Yeah. It's getting crazy.
You sound excited about that one.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. It's cool. It's cool what they're doing. The other stuff is going on, too, as far as, like, I don't think we had mentioned it much in the past shows, but the Women's United States Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Some rumors about that I've been hearing. And we haven't really heard anything about a Women's Intercontinental Championship, though, for Raw, really, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that United States Championship Women's will jump back and forth between brands.
Yeah, that's...
You know, why would they make one for one show and not the other?
Maybe they're just trying to guinea pig this one, not to muddy the waters up too much. Like,
yeah,
introduce this, then introduce the Raw one. That's something to keep an eye on. But
fake spoiler alert, I heard that Jade Cargill is in the running to be winning that, and people aren't happy about that. Just rumors, people. No spoilers.
No spoilers. A lot of great women, like mid-card women wrestlers that should get some shine to it. Yeah, if it's only one mid-card title, I would like somebody like a Lyra Valkyria or somebody like that to kind of build them up. Somebody that's not too established on the main roster yet, and take it and run with it. But we'll see what WWE has in store. What did you think about the design of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar, right?
Being like exactly the same, just smaller.
Yeah. It's just smaller. I thought it's not white like the women's title, though, is it? It's the same. It's like black leather, I think, still, or whatever.
No, I think it was white.
Oh, it is white. Okay, yeah, they did change it to yeah.
Usually when it's white, it's smaller, but yeah. That's what I've heard.
Usually, yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Not always, but usually. Yeah.
There's exceptions to every rule.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Well, you know, as for everything, the wackos are coming out of the IWC, and they are coming for us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah. We apologize for the use of AI images, but AI, you know, we don't have the say in the matter. AI is slowly taking over the world, and they are taking over our podcast somewhat, just as much as the Wyatt Six, and we have no control over it. Yeah. So you're just going to have to deal with it for now. But shout out to AIW Wrestling also.
Yes.
Not to be confused, but yeah.
I was going to say, they're taking over the podcast world. I mean, I wonder if they're getting any fallback. Let us know in the comments, AIW, if you're getting any fallback for your use of AI, because some people on the internet are not happy with it at all.
Yeah.
And
we're just out here living our best life too. Yeah. So
they hate us because they ain't us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, WWE's been rolling hot. You know, like I said, they're building the storylines. This is one of their big 4 PLEs, so there's going to be more attention to detail, I feel like, and I think there has been more attention to detail. A little bit of lackluster for the undisputed title. I mean, the story's there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cody and Kevin Owens. And that's been building for a few months, but I think like the week-to-week build for it has been maybe a little bit lackluster. I feel the use of Cody Rhodes lately has been a little bit slim to none. I mean, as the WWE, the undisputed champion, you think he'd be featured more on these programs, and he's really not. I understand they've been doing a lot of international, like live events and trying to build an audience internationally, and he's been the focal point of that. But you can't take away from the week-to-week fans that watch this show and want to see their undisputed champion, or the people that go to the shows and are there to see Cody heavily featured, and he comes out for a 5-minute promo and that's it, you know.
I'm sure he'll be making all the holiday house shows too and all stuff like that, which is good for, you know, the undisputed title and for people buying the tickets and going out to be there, and then that Saturday night main event show. But as far as like the actual Raw or SmackDown, Survivor Series, the big shows, what he's doing with Kevin Owens is kind of interesting, because the storyline is kind of he's playing second fiddle to the whole Bloodline saga and war, you know, that they're having. So I don't know. Yeah. And he's getting a little, he seems like it's getting the better of him a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And that's how SmackDown started out. He came out to the ring and he called out Kevin Owens, and he was very perplexed about the pile driver that Kevin Owens gave Randy Orton. And Kevin Owens, what you did last week on SmackDown is irreprehensible.
Yep.
And I need to talk to you face to face. So if you can come out here and we can have a discussion. It's like, man, oh man.
Yeah, and Nick Aldis came out and interrupted the Code Man. Yeah, the Code Man.
The Code Man.
Since he loves that term, that name very much, apparently. Yeah. So if you do see Cody Rhodes anywhere for autograph signing, make sure you tell him to sign it. Code Man.
Cool. I'm sure you get a lot of heat for that.
Who the hell told you it was open mic night?
Bitch.
Oh, no.
No.
I don't think it's as bad as the other. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Trying to cut down on the
they say it
foul
on TV.
Language. Yeah. We're trying to cut down on the foul language and the overuse of conversation about bodily fluids. That's what YouTube's really not been enjoying about our podcast.
Yeah.
Can't mention certain things that are.
There's certain 3-letter agencies and those 2 words that might put us on a list. But come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Yeah.
If you know, you know. So Nick Aldis diffused the situation, said that Kevin Owens wasn't in the building, told Cody to go back to catering. And that's what it feels like to me. Cody's just hanging out in catering for most of these weekly shows.
Yeah. I do think it's good the way that they've kind of kept them apart, though, because it's kind of building, because they haven't been face to face in a while. So when they finally get to each other, because the last time they really fought, they were friends, right? And then they had the whole parking lot thing where they had the little argument, and Kevin Owens popped Cody in the face one. And I don't know. Kevin Owens, like I said, I had put it out there that I stand with Kevin, and Kevin was right, like his T-shirt said. And we got some overwhelming support for Kevin Owens. in the comments. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I just want to let you all
I'm
know.
I'm doing
We're
pretty
not
good.
going to make a whole thing of this again this week, but
Yeah.
if you're siding with Kevin Owens, unfollow and block me, bro, because I just do not stand with somebody that does such irreprehensible actions, and this is so uncalled for. And if you're team KO,
Yeah.
I'm team NO for you, because
Okay.
I am just not happy about the situation. Randy Orton is a damn treasure. And the things that Kevin Owens has done to him, his friend, like showing off his Lamborghini to him a week after beating him up at Crown Jewel, like, can't have it, bro. Can't have it.
Oh,
Not happy. Not
hey,
happy.
They hate us because they ain't us, you know?
Anus. Yeah, anus.
Yeah.
Then we had some Bloodline, the Bloodline stories brewing. They had the Bloodline backstage, and they're talking about recruiting, and they needed to recruit a fifth member for this WarGames match coming up. And Sami Zayn's ever the optimist. You know, the Usos kind of seem like, oh, nobody's going to want to team with us, everything we've done. And Sami Zayn's like, no, I got another idea. And yeah.
Let's call Rob Van Dam. Let's call every random person we can think of. I'm surprised I didn't see him going backstage and literally talking to like every person. Why not R-Truth?
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Call Farouk. He's had some issues with his factions in the past. I'm sure he can. And there's okay, so we can just break down the Bloodline thing together here.
Yeah.
And so later on, before LA Knight had a match, Sami Zayn came up to LA Knight and said, hey, you know, do you want to be part of us or whatever? And LA Knight shut him right down, and which led to later on in the night, Bloodline 2.0 was coming out to the ring. And as they were coming out to the ring, it showed Roman and the Usos and Sami backstage,
right,
in their little dressing room. And the Bloodline 2.0 came out to the ring, and it wasn't too long after that OG Bloodline came out to confront them. Now, the conspiracy online is when the original Bloodline was back in the locker room when Bloodline 2.0 was coming out, there's a little blink and you miss it moment that Sami Zayn, when everybody's looking at the TV, he pulls a phone out of his pocket and throws it on the couch behind them. And now people are saying, is Sami Zayn in cahoots with the Bloodline 2.0? What was this? Because everything means something in WWE, right? So him pulling his phone out of his pocket and throwing it on the couch.
Really?
What was the meaning behind this?
I don't know, but I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it now and put it on super slow time.
Yeah, it's blink and you miss it. Now, we'll go back to that in a minute.
Right.
So, the Bloodline came out. They confronted the Bloodline 2.0, had a brawl, a not so oozy brawl.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the original Bloodline was getting the upper hand.
Right.
Sami Zayn was about to get the Samoan spike, and Roman saved him.
Yep.
They kind of give each other a nod in the ring, like, okay, cool, you know.
Yep.
And then we get the now official fifth member of Bloodline 2.0, and it's not Hikuleo, it's not Zilla Fatu, it's not even The Rock.
No, nope.
We got Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I mean, some people aren't happy about it. I mean, we were saying they should kind of keep it just bloodline stuff, and, you know, original storyline. But I guess if they were going to pick anybody that's non-traditional, that has nothing to do with it at all, rather than how they were going to write it in script, I guess they picked the right person because he does fit in with the bloodline. Yeah,
and people said he is Samoan, so I don't know.
Oh, he is? Okay.
I don't know. I didn't do his 23andMe, but I think
I looked him up. He's from Australia, but that doesn't mean he's not, you know, Samoan, of course. Right. And based on his tattoos, I wouldn't be surprised because they look similar. You know, and he's a big dude. He fits in with them. Heel group.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
fits in because he's lost his last 2 matches, and now all of a sudden he's the guy. Yeah. So we saw backstage before the Bloodline 2.0 came out, Jay telling Roman, got to make the call, Oos. You got to make the call. And then after Bronson Reed wrecked shop and the Bloodline 2.0 destroyed the OG Bloodline in the ring, there was Roman laying in the ring and Jay kneeling there telling him, Roman, make the call. Roman, make the call. And it's Jay is the one that's telling Roman to make the call. It's not anybody else, which is really interesting. I don't know if there's anything more to that.
Make the call, Oos.
Make the call.
What's interesting about making this call is, well, we get Roman back in the backstage in the locker room at the end, of course, and his hair is down and he's defeated. And he makes the call, you know, only to be let down and disappointed that the wise man has changed his number or it's out of service or whatever. I don't know. I guess people were going through it too, and he's upgraded his phone too. So good on him for that they're keeping track of that. But regardless,
so this is where another layer of this is that the last time we saw Paul Heyman solo stomped his phone because he was trying to call Roman. That wasn't the last time we saw him, but it was one of the times we saw him. He was trying to call Roman and solo stomped his phone. I think Paul Heyman would have gotten another phone by this point. But now the conspiracy theory is the phone that Sami Zayn threw on the couch, was it a mock phone with a fake number for... This is how deep people are thinking this is.
Deep.
Yeah, that he switched Roman's phone when Roman wasn't looking.
Right.
And he put a fake number in there, so when Roman tried to call the wise man, it went to a dead number. Wow. That's what people are saying. And that Sami is really working with the Bloodline 2.0.
So they're predicting Sami Zayn is going to betray the OTC OG Bloodline at Survivor Series WarGames.
At WarGames.
Wow.
After he's beat up Bloodline 2.0 multiple times, given Solo a haluva kick, given Jacob Fatu a haluva kick, beating all them up, but now all of a sudden he's gonna this is all a ruse. I'm beating you up just to make them believe I'm part of,
just to get one more win that they've already got over Roman and the Bloodline 2 or 3 times now, it seems like, too.
Yeah, I think that me personally, okay, so this is how it played out. So they saw the Bloodline 2.0 coming out. They showed them in the locker room. Then quickly after, the OG Bloodline came out and started a fight. I think, and this is just me, is that they were getting ready to run out. So Sami was just throwing his phone on the couch like he didn't want to drop his phone in the ring when they were fighting.
Okay.
So he just took his phone out and just threw it like, okay, we're about ready to go throw down.
Oh, like it wasn't even part of I
don't think, me personally, I don't think it was part of anything.
Okay,
people on the internet want to dissect. These are the same people that break down these QR codes and be like, oh my God, they put a CG clear as day on the middle of a paper. It's got to be Chad Gable. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But I think these people are trying to reach for something that isn't there.
It's kind of making me go down a rabbit hole here. These
white rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, it's even worse. These conspiracy theories. I'm thinking about this phone and the Bloodline and Survivor Series and who's on the grassy knoll and an 18 level subterranean base at the Air Force base now, and I'm just like,
jet fuel can't melt iron.
I don't know if I should have said that. I don't.
We're gonna get flagged.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that a lot of people try to connect all these stars like there's some immaculate constellation up there that that connects everything. And I just don't think it's there. I appreciate people that really try to take all this time to dive in, but I think you need to go outside and get some fresh air. I mean, piss jug is full.
Where did Sami Zayn get that throwaway phone? S4? I mean, come on.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't. It just doesn't make. If you know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
If you know, you know. Oh man.
But okay, so let's say Paul Heyman did pick up the phone or whatever, and they're calling Paul Heyman. What's the point? What is Paul Heyman going to do? Is he going to be the fifth member? This is my other thinking. Like, what is he doing?
Well,
Is he going to find them the fifth member?
Brock Lesnar. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, I seen that too. I heard that too. He going to F5 Big Bronson Reed, and then some people are saying CM Punk.
Yeah, that's a reach, I think.
See, the problem is like now with what they've done and the amount of time they have left going to Survivor Series. For some reason, if Seth Rollins doesn't decide to be part of the team, it leaves him with no match and nothing at Survivor
Correct.
Series. So he's got to be part of the team. Like he's going to come around. He has to.
Yeah, and like you said, like the timing of everything and the way everything's being broken down.
Yep.
At what point now? Do you think that it's going to be established before Survivor Series who the fifth member is, or do you think it's going to be like they come out at Survivor Series, just the four of them, and all of a sudden you hear and like everybody fucking loses their shit because Seth finally decides to squash the beef with Roman and move forward?
Burn it down. No, I think we're going to get it like the week before. I think we're going to get something because of how Raw had went off the air.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like, yeah.
And
Solo's playing into it, so he's going to have no other choice.
Right. It's not just like Bronson and Seth are having this feud. The Bloodline's sticking their nose in Seth's feud now.
Right.
So, which we'll talk about later.
Even though I don't like you, Roman, I'm going to team up with you.
That's
this is a one-time thing.
It'd be cool if the five of them all came out in Shield gear.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit the story, but it would just be.
It wouldn't.
I really appreciate that.
And I got to throw it out there because it's just randomly coming to my head now. But when Roman was the champion not too long ago, I believe it was at the Royal Rumble when Seth had faced him. And Seth had came out, everybody's expecting his crazy gear and his regular entrance and the whoa, and he hit the shield music and came out through the stands wearing the vest and all that. And Roman's face like sold it so good. And it was such a good entrance from Seth, and it was just like nobody expected it, and it was just like the mind games of it was great. Right. Seth obviously lost because of the bloodline and all that, but it was a highlight. It was a great part, great thing.
Man, one thing I never expected was all the facials Roman has. Like, I never thought I would ever see Roman with so many facials.
Oh yeah, after a tsunami, Roman's face. Yeah, he's just,
He gets the same facial after a tsunami as he does a golden shower.
Yeah.
Bodily fluids.
And a new room massage.
What you were talking about at the beginning, they had the first round, like a triple threat match for a qualifier for the women's U.S. title. They had Bayley, Candice LeRae, and B-Fab.
Yeah, B-Fab coming out of nowhere.
Okay, that was a surprise, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When's the last time, if at all, we've seen B-Fab wrestle?
I mean, when she didn't, I think she had interfered like a couple months ago, maybe with the Street Profits and some type of altercation they had with somebody, I believe, but I don't know if it was an official match. So,
yeah, it's been
a while.
I don't know if I've ever seen her wrestle. If I have, I don't remember it.
Yeah, she wasn't too bad. Candice LeRae was kind of botching all over the place here and there. But can't blame her. She,
Sometimes I feel like, and it's not just the women wrestlers, just wrestlers in general that kind of don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
When they do perform in the ring, I think they just try to do too much with the match. Sometimes less is more. And if you try to fit all of this stuff into 10 minutes, then timing's off. And not to say that there's any cooperation. Obviously, it's a hard competitive triple threat match that, there's no cooperation at all. But I think Bayley being in the mix for the women's US title, even if she doesn't win it, adds credibility to the tournament that somebody's so accomplished and decorated as Bayley is as a female wrestler, to have her advance in this tournament, I think is going to do wonders for the women's US title. Even if she doesn't win it, if she gets to the finals and the person that beats her, it would add credibility to that title. Like, I beat Bayley for this title,
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And I'm a big Bayley fan, so I hope she wins the whole thing, honestly. I would not be upset if she won the whole thing, because then you're putting the title on somebody already credible. It's not like somebody you're trying to build up. You add credibility to the title and then have her lose it to somebody up and coming. I think that would be a smart move. But
yeah, she got the roll up pin on B-Fab, and she moves on in the tournament.
Oof. Ooh, man,
See
oh
where
man.
they go. See where they go with that.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't even remember but they said all of the people in the tournament were on SmackDown, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's any women from Raw that are in the U.S. title tournament. So what you were talking about earlier, there might be making a mid-card title for Raw if all of the women in the tournament are SmackDown women.
Now, would it be the Intercontinental Women's Championship?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
What we doing, Trips?
You want to hear something funny that I figured out, and we're going to cross over to AEW real quick because you said Intercontinental.
Yeah.
They have the Intercontinental title in WWE.
Yep.
But in AEW, they have the International title and the Continental title. Like, they took Intercontinental and split it into two. Whatever.
I don't understand what any of them mean, honestly, half the time, or what the difference is. It's just a name for a...
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they should just call it the mid-card title.
The mid-card.
It's got quite the ring to it, don't it?
The mid-card title, MCT. What we did get next is L.A. Knight.
Yeah!
There we go.
Yeah.
As we had said before, Sami Zayn came up to him before his match and asked him to join the OG Bloodline. He declined. He came out, said he had an open U.S. title challenge.
Yep.
And then we had Legado del Fantasma come out.
Ooh.
And
Santos Escobar.
There we go. I was losing that one.
And his crew. Yeah. His crew. Legado del Fantasma. Yeah, but LA Knight was throwing shots, baby. Oh, he was throwing shots. Yeah.
Man.
Ooh,
Man,
baby. What a promo. Good. Yeah. He was kicking his open challenge, right? And they rudely interrupted him, and Santos Escobar wanted to make fun of the Milwaukee crowd a little bit and talk about the Milwaukeeans, going off the cuff a little bit. And yeah. Whatever.
And Michael Cole was really happy about Giannis hitting 59 points the night before. He brought that up about 7 times during this segment.
Too bad they can't hit a couple more wins while he's hitting these points.
Hey, shout out Andre Jackson if he's still on the Milwaukee Bucks. His brother cuts my hair, so I can't hate on the Milwaukee Bucks. But, it is what it is. But yeah, so
he's gonna get traded. They're gonna trade him
probably.
Yeah.
So LA Knight told him, "I already beat your ass. Like you already had your shot, and I beat your ass." So he points at was it Alberto?
Yeah. Why is he looking at me? If you want to look at me, you want to get the 1, 2, 3 from the BFT.
Yeah.
So it was so good. Yeah. I'll give you the opportunity of a lifetime. I'll beat you like your daddy. Yeah. And don't get too excited, because the only person that's calling me daddy is your girl over there.
Woo! And he says, "I'm about Giannis getting 59, but I'm going to give you 3 the hard way, and that's what the BFT."
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
So fucking good. So good on the mic, man. I love LA Knight, man. And for what this was, Berto actually had a decent match with him.
Yeah.
Like it was actually a decent match. I was really, really impressed by, not to say that he's not a good performer, but
Right.
I thought it was going to be a very one-sided squash type match, but Berto had a little bit of offense in there, and I was actually pretty entertained by it.
He did. They're good. They may be the mid guys behind Santos Escobar and his crew, but they can wrestle, that's for sure. They got skills. Yep.
So he LA Knight is a fortune teller or maybe a psychic because he predicted the future. He hit the BFT. He got the 1, 2, 3. He's still the United States champion. But afterwards, we had a return that I did not see coming.
No.
And it was in one Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. People have been saying
Shinsuke.
they were gonna, yeah, me too. Shinsuke is good. People have been saying he was going to show up in AEW these past couple weeks too.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, I'd seen people talking about that. So, wrong.
Yeah. So Shinsuke Nakamura kicks the shit out of LA Knight. Yeah. And it looks like that's probably what's going to be because there's an open U.S. title challenge. So hopefully we get that at Survivor Series and we get the U.S. title and LA Knight featured at Survivor Series. I'm hoping that's the direction it's going. I'd hope it's just not like a throwaway the night before Survivor Series. I think that would be a big match for LA Knight, you know?
Right.
Boy, oh boy. Moving right along. The Motor City Machine Guns face the Street Profits. This was our main event match for SmackDown. And Street Profits are showing a little edge now. They're showing a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of maybe the heel of their boots a little bit because
little heel tendencies a little bit.
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive and stuff. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Motor City Machine Guns entrance and music. The pop and like the fucking the pyro,
yeah.
And they come out. Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah.
They're in shape. They know what to do. Their tag team wrestling is so refreshing to watch because they follow the rules of traditional tag team. And not to say that they're like a old school tag team, but they don't do blind tags on the back. They don't do any of this like 25 seconds in the ring fighting. It's very legal.
They hold the stupid little string.
Yeah.
I hate the string.
I love it. What?
I hate the string.
Back in the day when the heel tag team used to choke the opponent in the corner with it and stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's fair enough. Yeah. It's just
so nobody uses it anymore, but boy, oh boy. No. So this was a pretty competitive match. I know you're a big fan of the Street Profits, but it didn't end clearly because Tommaso Ciampa came out and took matters into his own hands, and he's on a little bit of a roid rage right now.
Yeah, and he left Johnny Gargano flustered. He didn't know what was happening to his partner there. Yeah.
And this is like the same kind of angle they did in NXT when they broke up in NXT.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time. They're either going to break up, they're going to turn on each other, or Johnny's going to turn heel with them.
Oh, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ciampa came out, laid the Smackdown, and got a disqualification. So I don't know if that's setting up for something at Survivor Series for the tag titles. I don't know where they're going moving forward with this. I've seen some backlash online about how the Motor City Machine Guns aren't really getting over promo wise or that sort of, but I don't think that's what they're there for. They're there to show what they do in the ring and keep it moving. That's Motor City Machine Gun style. So
that's true. It's a fair point though, because I haven't really seen them cut a promo that I've been like, oh yeah. I don't know if they've even really cut a promo yet. Technically.
Yeah, not much. I mean, they've had a couple altercations with Street Profits and then with Gargano and Ciampa and then with the Bloodline, but
I assume they have it in them.
What do they have?
Pause. But no Diddy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to see. Well, they gotta give them the mic sooner or later. See if they can if they throw some shots like that too.
Oh, Motor City Machine Gun. Yeah. That was SmackDown, and the drama continues, and we're gonna continue after a great little a great little musical number.
Oh yeah,
by the legendary future Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah.
The one, the only, Kombat Jones on guitar, my friends. Oh, drums too. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a long
I played
solo.
it all, baby. I did that all. Yeah.
Let's move over to Raw.
Yeah.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw. We'll get it one of these days. We'll get it. Monday Night Raw started out. This was okay. So this was a pre-tape from the week before, as some people have noted on the internet. I really saved myself from a lot of spoilers.
Me too. Yeah.
So I went into this Raw, as it were, like I always do. But it started out with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez coming out to the ring. And I got to know your thoughts on this, because I have a lot of thoughts on this. And since you have the world's longest wet throbbing boner for Liv Morgan, I need to really know what you thought of this whole segment.
It has nothing to do with anything about that. I just respect her wrestling abilities and think she's a great wrestler and great on the mic, you know?
Who are you trying to fool right now? You or the audience? I
do want to say, I think it was last week, shout out, she had some attire on or something, and it was the same attire that was like a Burberry scarf design. Another shout back to MJF.
Okay.
Now, you know, I draw the comparisons all the time. Yeah, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, and I only count 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. I'm smarter than all of you.
The whole way this got built up, because Liv and Raquel were out in the ring, Nia and Tiffany and Candice LeRae, who's with them now.
Yeah.
T's and P's to Indy Hartwell. That was heartbreaking to see her released. I think that she is phenomenal talent, and I hope she does well in the future. But Candice LeRae is now aligned herself with Tiffany and Nia Jax because of that.
Right.
So 3 weeks ago at Crown Jewel, Nia and Tiffany were feuding with Raquel and Liv.
Right.
Even in the actual Crown Jewel match, Raquel and Tiffany were fighting.
Right.
There was that they cost the match. Remember, Tiffany got hit with the briefcase.
Yeah.
At one point. So
Liv won.
Or sorry. So
don't leave that out.
They were just feuding 3 weeks ago, and now they're like, oh, we're a team now, for no purpose other than to like fast forward to a women's war game match. There was nothing here to build to this at all.
Nia's lines were
I don't think about you.
Yeah.
I don't think about you. What I do think about is Bianca and Jade.
Yeah. Like, why are you thinking about them? Why are you worried about them? You're the champion. Why?
This whole segment was very rushed and very... I understand the need for women's wrestling on the cards, and I understand people's desire to have women's wrestling featured, but just having a women's war game match just for the sake of having a women's war game match is it does not hit the mark with me. I think this was very not good at all.
No, you don't think so? I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's kind of like forced, I guess, right? Because it's they're kind of just throwing it in there and they're making it out of nothing.
But look at the volume of like the intensity and the meaning behind the men's war game match in this whole Bloodline feud. It's been boiling over this is a years in the making.
Yeah, we see it a lot with the Elimination Chamber matches. You know, they'll just throw random people in there, and then they started doing it with the women's. You know, if they got to do it for both. It is what it is, you know.
Right. But do you think it takes away from the level that the men's one is, just to be throwing women's matches women in the War Games match just to have it. And I'm not bashing anything. I think women should be featured on the card. I think there should be like a tag team title match at Survivor Series, or the women's titles being featured, being defended at Survivor Series. But to have all these women thrown into a War Games match just to have it, I think is just missing the mark for me.
I guess, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. See, it's both because they could put the women's title matches on Survivor Series, but then like they're not able to draw the story out longer to whatever they're trying to do with Royal Rumble, I guess, right? Because that would be next and Saturday night main event if that turns out to be something that's game changing. Who knows? But at least like it is randomly thrown together for the women's match, but at the same time, it's not, because all these women do have like a history, and there is all like these stories going on with all of them. Then you got Tiffany Stratton in there too, which has the Money in the Bank. Like at any time, she could still cash that thing in. Like,
yeah, and you know, the women's championships, both Nia's and Liv's, haven't been defended, and we're going on 2 months now.
Yeah,
there's 2 months that these titles have not been defended because the last PLE was Crown Jewel and they didn't defend the titles. They were going for the Crown Jewel title,
and they faced each other. Yeah, they faced each other at Crown Jewel, and now they're on the same team.
So I think it's less of me not agreeing with this War Games match and more wanting the women's titles to be featured more.
Right.
Because I think they're losing credibility and losing like they're just placeholders right now. Like their title reigns aren't really meaning much of anything. And so after that little kerfuffle with Nia Jax,
I liked Liv's little promo leading up to when we got Surprise coming out. I didn't mind it, but up until like the counting part. But you know, great minds think alike, because as I said in the past on the show, the math ain't mathing up, and she took the words right out of my mouth. So
it's not the only thing she takes out of her mouth.
Well, hey,
but
yes, I'm sorry. So like the whole thing with her counting, how many times has that been done with people in the ring when they're counting? You know, it's like, but she's up to that point, she's doing great. Like she's been so much better at like playing to the audience and annoying them and annoying people like you on TV and being condescending and just being like that mean girl kind of. So I give her credit there, because I feel like it's become an effortlessly for her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, and then like when Nia was doing her little, I don't think about you. I don't think about you. And then like Liv in the background, like, oh, you don't think about me? I'm like, this is ridiculous, bro.
I liked it. I liked that part.
Oh my God. I would rather put rusty nails through my eyelids than freaking have to.
That's what she wants. She's winning. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. And then
we had Jade, Bianca, Naomi, and Io Sky, who helped them out at the end of Raw last week, come out, and we played Math Class, like you said.
Yeah. This is my brutality. War Games.
This is another pet peeve of mine. When somebody comes out and just says the name of the event that they want to have a match, or like a type of match that they want, like no other thing. She just comes out and just says War Games and then attacks them. Like, and so why is Io, Sky, Jade, Bianca, and Naomi all deciding like, yeah, Rhea's our girl now? Like there's like I said, there's no context there.
Yeah.
Rhea like just terrorized Damage Control for how long, you know? And now all of a sudden Io Sky's on board with it. Like, I wish there would have been a little bit, if this is the direction they're going, and that's fine. I just wish there was more seeds being laid to lead up to this than just to say, hey, we're having this 5-on-5 women's War Games match.
Yeah, because we haven't seen that. But they're doing it, I guess, they're all teaming up, you know, both teams rather, for the greater good or greater bad. Yeah, right.
And War Games, a match like War Games is a tough match to have. Like,
right.
There's a lot of moving parts in a match like this, a multi-person cage match, 2 rings.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces there. And some of these women, are they going to be able to, not just the women, I'm just going to say some of these competitors, are they going to be able to flow with this? Nia Jax is sloppy in one-on-one matches. How is she going to fare in a 5-on-5 women's match? Like,
and it's a spot match. It definitely is.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I didn't want to say the word. Yeah.
Not only is it just a spot match, there's random times where they come in too. They're not all in the ring at one time. So they got to be able to hold their own in the ring. So they're going to, whoever comes out first and last, and obviously the heels should always have the advantage of the 2-on-1 to start it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's happened every time like that, but
most times the heel gets
you would think,
advantage,
so we're going to have to see that. I think we see that next week. They had teased it, but who's going to win it? And like, what implications of either team winning does it have on the future?
Right.
Not really any, but and then going back to like all of them in the match, like how's Jade going to do in the match? Are we going to see maybe some type of Jade and Bianca clashing in the match? Is there going to be some type of tease with Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank in the match?
A lot of people are thinking this is where it's going to be the cash in, but
really, okay. So she could cash it in on Liv. She could cash it on Nia Jax. I mean, I don't know if I was going to predict who's going to win the match at the end of the day. I would say it would early at this point. I would say Rhea Ripley's team, and Rhea's going to pin Liv.
Yeah, at this point with what they're doing, first of all, going back to the Money in the Bank thing, I've lost all interest in it because of how much they've teased it. I think they just overshot it. But at this point, I feel like nobody can take the title away from Liv except Rhea. It's got to be Rhea at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
As much as they're investing in the whole thing, I think Rhea's got to be the one to dethrone Liv.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense any other way.
Yeah. I mean, Tiffany Stratton taking the pin and then her being the reason for losing the WarGames match could send Nia against her and really disrespect her and make her even more bitter and sour, and leading her, the audience even go over with her even more to cash in that on Nia Jax could be a avenue. But but and when Rhea came out with the face mask, they're talking about when she got hit in the face with a baseball bat in the NXT parking lot.
Yeah. Shout out Joe Tessitore.
Looking like Rip Hamilton out there.
Yeah. Looking like Undertaker.
Undertaker.
The Phantom mask. Dashing Cody Rhodes back in the day.
Yes. Yep.
And the first thing she does with a broken orbital bone is headbutt Liv. Like, that really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, I could be pleasantly surprised, but I just don't like there was no build. I'm not going to say I don't like the build because there was no build. It was.
I'm sure they're going to try over the next week or two or so now, because this next week we have Bianca versus Nia, I believe, for the advantage match of who's going to come out, who's going to get the second person to come out first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not too over the moon about it, but it is what it is. Then we had, after that, we saw the Judgment Day clubhouse. They were all hanging out and stuff. It seems like there's a lot of dissension in the ranks going on
because
there.
Liv came in and the Raquel came in and they're kind of defeated, and they're like, and Damian's like, you want me to take over this here tonight, Liv? I got this from here if you wouldn't. I wouldn't mind. Yes. Yeah. And it was interesting because there was no interaction between Liv and Dom right there either.
Yes. Do you think that Finn is Liv's side piece?
Maybe. I mean, they say you got to keep a few, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I got you. So, it just seems weird. Like, Finn's talking down to Dom now, which when they first broke Damian off the Judgment Day, they said, we're all equals and stuff. But very quickly it's turned into like the Liv and Finn show.
Right.
I feel like, and I said this before with the whole Rhea Liv feud starting.
Yeah.
Dom showing some babyface.
I was just gonna say, I feel like just like the past couple weeks, maybe the audience isn't quite booing him as much too.
Yeah, I think
Like
that
it's just naturally, organically starting to change with what
now,
the audience is doing, but because of Finn too, I would
yeah.
assume.
Now, I
know.
think that if you think back a few months when you and I were talking,
Yeah,
you and I agreed that we think that Dom's going to find out that Finn's been, because he even said to Rhea, I'm the one that got in Dom's ear and told him to go with Liv and
right.
da 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 da. I think at some point Dom's going to catch on to this and he's going to help Rhea win the title from Liv.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
that's where it's going to, and they're going to reunite and babyface Dom is going to be upon us. And it's, phew.
She's been three timing him the whole time, and yeah, once babyface Dom kicks over and he goes back with Rhea, like, woo!
Look out, Gunther, because that title is coming home to Poppy.
Can you just imagine the whole crowd fake Dom mustaches?
Oh man,
yeah, everybody in the crowd will have a fake dirty Dom mustache, and the street cred will be real again. Yeah,
WWE shop will shut down once they put that for sale. Oh my goodness!
Right.
If Dom, I can't.
Right?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to promise anything right now.
Yeah.
If Dom turns babyface and goes back with Rhea, I will heavily consider shaving my beard and just having the mustache.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I don't think I'm going to actually do it. So,
I'm not going to do it, but I would show a picture of a time that I did shave my beard and just had a mustache.
Ah, so good.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't think there was a time I did that. Oh man, I'd be killed. I'd probably have to sleep on the couch at that point. So also after that, we had a Final Testament promo backstage, and The Miz was talking about his Oscar-worthy performance the week before with the Wyatt Six,
which I called it an Oscar-worthy performance. Yes. And then he took, they must be watching the show.
Yeah,
I called it.
Yeah, this was well done. Karrion Kross, I feel like in the last 2 weeks, and I'm trying not to be biased, but has shown me something that I haven't probably seen in Karrion Kross in a long time. This is,
I agree,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal work by Karrion Kross right now.
Yeah, charismatic,
like just menacing. Oh my goodness! Like
it's somewhat funny too. It's there's a bit of comedy there too, because it's just so serious, but it's like
I think the Wyatts were kind of losing the crowd a little bit. Yeah, they put the cell phone cameras up and they pop when the lights start shutting down and stuff, but I really think they've lost a lot of traction since their initial debut. But somebody like Karrion Kross that people hate so much, I think can really boost the Wyatt Six back up.
He's going to put them back over and give them some momentum again, maybe. Yeah.
I really hope. Just look at it, man. That
they decimated the Wyatt, so they completely destroyed them.
Akeem and Razor, whatever the authors of Pain's names are.
Yeah.
You have Eric Rowan, but like any of the other guys, Joe Gacy or Dexter Loomis or whatever, does any of them even stand a chance against the authors of Pain? And I mean, come on. Realistically, I don't know how they have the authors of Pain in there and have anybody stand toe to toe with them. But I really like this. Like you said, the Oscar winning performance. He was like Tarantino. Martin Scorsese, they're gonna cast me in their next movies. Like, great work by the Miz. Heel Miz is the best Miz. I have a soft spot for babyface Miz, but heel Miz is where it's got to be.
And we had got the little promo, the VHS tape again with it wasn't Uncle Howdy this time. It was Bo Dallas with his hair all down, kind of looking like Bray Wyatt, somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll give him credit there because he was somewhat compelling with what he was saying, and like the look was on. Like that's what we want. We want just him like that, like unhinged, crazy. Like ain't nothing wrong with that. That's good. Build it up. I'm not sure if they're going after the Judgment Day too now. Somewhat like I don't know. Is it just the Final Testament? He's talking about like I don't know. They perplex me. Yeah.
I think it's building to them taking on the Judgment Day.
Yeah. See that. So what's up with the Final Testament? Did they I don't know.
But I think they're gonna do the Final Testament first, then build up to the Judgment Day, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not sure because, like I said, their whole mission was to make people see the light and see the error of their ways, and we have Chad Gable still running amok, still being the slimy heel that he is, even after the Wyatt Six took him out. So it's almost like status quo. Nothing changed. Nothing came out of that storyline. Like American Made is still the American Made. The Wyatt Six is still doing their spooky stuff. There was nothing that advanced there. Like, I think, shout out Howdy LFC, man, you're getting a lot of love on our show. But like, I think that a lot of these Wyatt Six fans are saying how compelling this story is, but nothing's coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like when you had the Cody.
Yeah. There's been some people that have they're kind of disappointed too with where WWE has gone, like the Howdy fans and the Wyatt Six fans, that they're just showing these little VHS tapes again, and they're not getting any of a push, and they're not showing up on the brand, and these other tag teams or groups are getting the shine, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It just, I think that at the end of the day, I think that any kind of storyline needs to advance to something else.
Right.
You had the Cody Rhodes finish the story. You're having the Roman Reigns in the Bloodline thing, and it's advancing and leading to something else and leading further on down the story. Even Liv and Rhea, as much as I dislike that, there's something going on to progress it and move it in a direction.
Right.
The Wyatt Six, it's like, okay, well, we beat American Made. Now we're on to the next one. Yeah, but American Made's still doing the same exact shit they were doing before. So
didn't change them.
The mission wasn't accomplished. Like, I just don't. I hate dwelling and like spending my time even thinking about it because it's dumb to me.
Yeah.
We had Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther backstage.
Yep.
And Kaiser trying to really speak his piece about what happened last week when he was the mouthpiece for Gunther, and Gunther was telling him like, and I thought this was like Gunther like kicking him out.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunther was telling him, yo, you got to find your own voice. You got to be that vicious competitor that I know you are.
Yep. And almost to stay out of his business in a way too, and let him handle his own. Like he don't need him to speak for him and to get in his way.
Yeah. Maybe. I was going to say planting the seeds for like a split, but I don't see that right now. I would love to see it, but I just don't see that right now.
Right.
So then Kaiser takes off to go plot his plans, and Gunther takes off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, and then they look 10 feet over. Damian Priest is just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like sitting there with his back to where Gunther and Kaiser just had a conversation.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of dumb to me. Like
beats him up, tells him, you might be the general of the ring, but I'm the king of the streets.
Yeah. Well, what I don't understand is Damian Priest didn't see Kaiser and Gunther talking 10 feet behind him. Like,
no, they didn't see him. Yeah.
That was just a little bit too much for me.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Adam Pearce comes over. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I think the Ring General needs an ice pack. What was he playing? Was he playing like backgammon or something? Like there was something on the table. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tiddlywinks or Othello or some shit.
4.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there can be more that can be done with this story. The same thing with Cody and KO.
Yeah.
like Gunther and Damian Priest, like this is all that got featured for them for their match moving to Survivor Series on this show. And next week they're probably going to have a face-to-face and really drive it home.
Yeah,
but I
for
really
the
wish
being the championship, yeah, you think they'd give it a little more, add some more depth to it, you know, some more layers. But
yeah, but it is what it is. I mean,
yeah, and that leads because Bron Breakker was defending his Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus, right? And Ludwig Kaiser comes out and bootlegs the show, and it ends in disqualification.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to disqualify this match.
Yeah, because Sheamus, you know, shout out Joe Tessitore. I think he's doing a great job. No one replaces Pat McAfee. I'm just gonna lay it out there. To me, Pat McAfee and Joe Tessitore is a play-by-play, and Pat McAfee's color analyst. But Pat McAfee and Michael Cole was my Monday nights. Like those were what I was really into, and I understand contractually, like it's just not able to happen. But I think Joe Tessitore stepping in, and doing what he's doing with Wade Barrett is doing a really great job. And Joe Tessitore really and Wade Barrett both drove home the narrative that Sheamus has never won the IC title. Like that's the accolade that's eluded Sheamus his whole WWE career, is that he hasn't won that title. And they kept making a point of that. And there was a false finish that the crowd really believed that Sheamus was going to win that match because he took out Bron Breakker. What's it, a brogue kick? And took a 1-2. It was like a 2 3/4.
Yeah.
And Bron Breakker kicked out, and they showed the reaction from the crowd. And that crowd truly and wholeheartedly believed that Sheamus won the title in that moment. And that's what you need. That's what you need in something like this. You know?
Yeah, it was a great build up. They've been doing that lately too with a lot of the people. Like they haven't won this and that, and making you think that they got a chance to win rather than just putting them in there and feeding them to whoever that for a throwaway match or for a squash match for that championship, right?
Yeah,
to make you think that it's actually going to change hands on live TV. Yeah, and Bron Breakker had some. They both him and Sheamus had some good points, like when they're slapping each other and Braun's kind of just talking to him, and then Sheamus just like levels him. Like Braun's in there. Braun's with the shits. Yeah.
Yo, did you see that senton he did from like the top rope to the outside of the ring? And he didn't like rotate it enough, and if Sheamus didn't like,
Sheamus barely caught him too. Like caught him on. Yeah, it was close.
Bron Breakker would have landed right on his head. Like that was really, really scary to watch.
He still had a bad landing too from it. Yeah, it was just
Boy, oh boy, and and like you said, the match didn't end clear because Ludwig Kaiser came out and he made his presence known, and he's making a name for himself as Gunther had instructed him to do, caused the disqualification. And
I don't think Gunther's going to like that though. I think he's going to end up being like, that's not what I meant. You know,
really,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's going to lead to maybe a triple threat IC title match at Survivor Series because Sheamus didn't get a clear shot at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, good on Kaiser for coming out, because we've been big on Kaiser for a long time, and it's good to see him in a title picture and not just like the crony or the goonie, the goon that's behind Gunther. You know what I mean? So I really, really appreciate that, and I like seeing him in a title picture.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think Gunther's going to like it because it's going to make him look bad. And I think even though Gunther is the heel, I think he's more of like a dominant powerhouse heel, and like he's going to see it as not as honorable way of going about doing things. And it's just Kaiser's just acting out now, trying to throw shit at the wall and see what and do whatever he's got to do, and it's going to cause that rift even more.
Now, do you think this is leading towards like a Gunther almost like babyface turn?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get Kaiser and Gunther, I would assume at some point, but that's probably ways down the line still.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to portray Bron Breakker as a heel still, so Kaiser feuding with him doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Things get blurred a little bit.
Yep.
What also got blurred backstage, we had the Usos and Sami Zayn with Seth Rollins, and Sami trying to talk some sense into Seth Rollins. And this is why this whole conspiracy about Sami being in cahoots with the Bloodline 2.0 doesn't make sense to me, because he's the one that's been trying to recruit people.
He's going out of his way. You think he would just
he's
leave
going
it?
out of his way to talk to LA Knight, to talk to Seth Rollins, to try,
Right.
I just don't think that whole theory holds water. But they're trying to recruit Seth, and Seth tells Sami, like, I would gladly team with you. He looks at Jay, I'd gladly team with you. He even looks at Jimmy and said, I'd gladly team with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just never going to team with Roman Reigns.
I'm not going to team with that dictator ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I heard Mr. Potato Head had a dictator. So, I think that one got you.
That was good. That was clever. Yeah.
But yeah, so I really think, honestly, that there's just not enough time to bring somebody else into the fold. I think it has to be Seth Rollins, especially with what you said.
Yeah.
And before we get to the main event and talk about this more, the War Raiders defeated Dom and Carlito. It is what it is. Nobody, whatever. But the main event was Bronson Reed against Seth Rollins.
Yep.
And so this whole match was built on, Bronson Reed being this big monster or whatever. And right at the beginning of the match, the Bloodline 2.0 came out to surround the ring, Jacob and Tamatonga and Tongaloa.
Yep.
And then Jimmy J and Sami came out to even the playing field, to kind of show Seth, we got your back. Even if you don't want to team with Roman and you don't believe Roman's on your side, we got your back.
Right.
Which ultimately ended in Seth being distracted by Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
For Bronson Reed to get
Tsunami.
Yeah. Joe Tessitore gave Wade Barrett the green light to say it this time. Yeah.
And
it's a thing.
It's a thing. That's a whole.
Tsunami.
He's got something. And I used to know this woman I worked with that I met her one day and I said, "Oh, what's your name?" She's like, "You can call me Tsunami." And I was like, "I'm not going to do that." But
wow.
Whatever.
I got a lot
story.
of questions. Yeah.
I did not want to ask questions with this woman, but she was, "You can call me Tsunami." And I said, "I am not going to do that." So
was her name Sue?
Yeah. No, it was nothing. It was nothing close to that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it was like Tanya or something. But anyway, I don't want to know why they call her Tsunami. But so this is where like you said, storyline wise and with lack of time, it's got to be Seth Rollins at this point, right? I know there's a lot of people in the IWC or the RRC, the Ringside Renaissance community. We're going to start calling it because, the IWC. But there's a lot of people that are saying, like, who could this fifth person be? Does Paul Heyman have something to do with it? Is it going to be Brock? Is it going to be CM Punk? Who is it going to be? It's got to be Seth Rollins at this point. Like you said, Seth doesn't have a match at Survivor Series. He just got screwed over by Solo and got beaten by Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed's in the War Game match with Solo. Like, that's what it's got to be, right?
No, I would assume. What do we have before Survivor Series? Two more Smackdowns?
2 more Smackdowns and 1 Raw.
And 1 Raw. Yeah, so that's enough more time for him to come around to join the crew. I mean, all he needs to do is get screwed over one more time or have a face-to-face with Solo, and then it goes wrong, and they beat him up, and then he's like,
okay, I'm in.
Like,
yeah. Do you think that he's going to be on SmackDown this Friday to have like a face-to-face with Roman? Or do you think that needs to wait?
I think that should wait to the last one. I think maybe he could show up on SmackDown and maybe interfere with Solo or something,
right?
Or with the Bloodline to get some type of.
I was thinking
they could wait for Raw. I guess. Yeah.
I was thinking like really far-fetched, like fantasy booking. Like it goes to War Games and the OG Bloodlines only got the 4 members.
Yeah.
And they all get into the ring, and then the 5th Bloodline member gets in the ring, and they're just beating down the OG Bloodline. And then now comes the return of the wise man, Paul Heyman.
Right.
He comes out, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And then he's the one that made the call to Seth, and Seth comes in and evens the playing field.
Right.
And they ultimately get the win.
But why is Seth Rollins going to listen to Paul Heyman? What's he got to do with Paul? You know, like I understand if they're saying it's going to be CM Punk or Brock Lesnar, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's my thing. Like, what does Paul Heyman have to do with the whole thing? They need his special counsel, or just like they
think
they
Paul
need his
Heyman's
coaching, or like as a cheerleader,
Yeah.
you know, like what they just going to get him hurt again by the Bloodline.
I just think Paul Heyman is kind of like the straw that stirs Roman Reigns' drink.
Yeah.
Because he's come back, and for the most part, Roman Reigns
lost.
Besides at Bad Blood, he's been losing and been being taken advantage of and being beat down, and he's missing that piece that glues everything together.
Right.
You know, and I think the wise man is that, and I think that's what Jay sees, is that the wise man is the one that's going to set Roman Reigns straight. And like I mentioned before, this is a Roman Reigns redemption tour. You know, he made right with Cody Rhodes, even if it was just like professionally or whatever. He made right with Jay. He made right with Sami.
Right.
Who's the biggest name that's still in WWE that Roman has wronged, or they've wronged each other and had a feud, that he needs to right that wrong to be a full-on redemption? And that's Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's
Him
true.
and Seth Rollins have had this feud for over 10 years now, back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes Roman was the babyface, Seth was the heel, or vice versa. But that's the biggest feud that Roman Reigns has had in professional wrestling.
Yeah, I think people forget about how much history they really do have with each other, of screwing each other over, you know, and coming from such a huge debut with the Shield and being such a big group and being so successful from it. And yeah,
and I think that's the final stop on Roman Reigns' redemption tour, to be full-on babyface, is to forgive and forget with Seth, and then they can just part ways and never team together after. But that beef has to be squashed for Roman to become the superstar babyface that I think they're trying to make him be.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
I think that's the story they're trying to tell. And boy, poor John Moxley, man, sitting over in another country in Cucamonga land, watching all of this unfold and all of this amazing story that's being told, and he just can't be a part of it.
Yeah, he could have been one of these members for sure.
Yeah. Instead, he's got a swollen member from beating off to Tony Khan so much.
Yeah.
But that was WWE. You got some NXT stuff to talk about, or?
Not really. No. I mean, I'm interested to see what's going to happen this next NXT here tonight coming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Isn't it Ridge Holland versus the Chase U?
Yeah.
To see who's the number one contender for Trick's title, and if Ridge Holland wins, Chase U's got to break up.
They got to break up. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
NXT, you know, they love Chase U. I've never been a big fan of the Chase U, honestly. But what do I know? Apparently, it's over, and it's been over for a long time, too long, in my opinion. But whatever. Yeah. No, I I'm gonna be tuning in to NXT. And
now, do you know? Because I'm kind of lost with it. What's this match that's coming up that everybody's qualifying for?
Oh, yeah, I forget.
The Annihilation match, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
the thing is called.
They do some different stuff in NXT as far as like their matches, and like they do like a lot of the cups and stuff like that. They have like tournaments for this cup or that cup, and then it's a non-traditional type of match, of course, with different types of rules and stuff for what they do for it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that event going to happen the day after Survivor Series? Is it going to be like an NXT pay-per-view?
It should be. I would assume it's going to be a Deadline, I think,
Deadline. Yes. That's the event. But when is Deadline exactly? I don't mean to keep putting you on the spot with shit.
Yeah, NXT Deadline is December 7th.
Oh, okay. So it's a week after.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in Minnesota.
I wasn't exactly sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it'd be cool. It's nice to tune into that. And
so we're going to get some more build up for Julia Gulia versus Stephanie Vicor for that, which is going to be at Deadline, I believe. And then we'll see what happens with like Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, and like Roxanne's still champion, obviously. So who she's going to face there, and then how that integrates with the story with Cora Jade and whoever else is going on with it. Because Kalani Jordan, she's still going. She didn't get her championship back, I believe. Sol Rucka took out Cora Jade on the last episode of NXT, I believe.
So you think Sol Rucka's going to go for the title?
Snatch their soul. I believe no, I don't, because that match was for the tournament for that event. So that was just kind of to put Sol Rucka in that and then take Cora Jade out of it to keep her part of Roxanne's storyline or whatever the hell they're doing there. Their tag team. Yeah, we'll see where they go with it. I don't know. You know, it's there's a lot of moving parts in NXT, and sometimes it all doesn't.
Yeah, very experimental, but
yeah.
It's a great place to do it.
Yeah, another big thing that happened. There was an event in Las Vegas this past weekend at Complex Con. Cactus Jack with Travis Scott. Triple H showed up on stage and presented Travis Scott with a hardcore championship belt, which is one of the newer undisputed championship belts. Looks like what they did to what the old hardcore titles looked like. They announced that Travis Scott will be at the Raw live on Netflix January 6th in LA at the brand new Intuit Dome, which I think is sort of like the dome that's in Las Vegas, somewhat. Or it's shaped differently. I don't know, but it's interesting. So they're going to have the first show there. They put out the main press release for it too, saying all the big stars are going to be there. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Bianca Belair, and other superstars and surprise guests. And like I said, Travis Scott will be there. Some people said that he will be wrestling and he will have that hardcore belt. And they're saying maybe it will be a new hardcore belt and it would be part of the brands. Yeah. So let's go, baby. Yeah. Shout out to Travis Scott, baby. Yeah. Where them Jumpman Jacks at?
That was a cool interaction. Do you think he's going to fight Bad Baby for the hardcore title? Oh, wait, not Bad Baby. Bad Bunny.
Bad Baby.
Don't fight Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. Bad Barbie. Whoever the hell it is. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Bad Bunny. Who knows? Maybe Logan Paul. Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We shall see, man. But it's interesting. I'm glad that like everything's kind of full steam ahead with this Netflix thing. It's coming a lot faster than I imagined or I even realized. But the one thing that's been talked about since this past weekend was the logistics behind Netflix having Raw on weekly shows live because of the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight that happened this past Friday. And we're not going to dive into that, but how poor the connection was.
Yeah.
With people, I guess there's a lot of buffering, a lot of lagging. It was just a lot of headaches that were involved with a live showing of the fight. And I think people are worried if that's going to be how Raw's going to be for the first few weeks, you know?
I wasn't able to watch it live, so I don't know if I had that problem or not, if it would have buffered. But yeah, a lot of people were saying on the internet they couldn't watch it, or by the time the last big fight came on, everybody was on in the whole country and across the world watching. So of course it was buffering. I think there'll be less people watching Raw than we're watching that.
Yeah, that's true.
So hopefully you think they'll be good. And I think it was a good test run, you know, to figure out and know what they have to do to make things right.
Well, yeah. So I think, and then eventually if their PLEs move over to Netflix once their Peacock deal runs out, which I think is the direction they're going. But
Yeah.
time will tell on that, Can't say nothing until that's actually a thing, I guess.
Right. We'll be back next time, talk some more Smackdown, Raw, Survivor Series, however it plays out for our schedules this next week or so, but we're looking forward to it. And like we said, we're looking forward to Raw on Netflix with Travis Scott live in LA at the Intuit. Yep. Stadium, bowl, dome, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. Let's go.
Man, let's go. Let's go. It's going to be a beautiful thing, man. WWE just keeps on rolling. And this is a thing that, last thing I'm going to say, last night was a pre-taped Raw, so it was taped after the Raw from last week.
Right.
Last night was pre-taped. So but the crowd stayed for the whole thing. It wasn't like there was half the crowd there for this Raw. Like the crowd stayed for that whole thing, which is a problem for other companies keeping the crowd for shows that happen after the show. So
yeah, some bad videos out there showing barely floor seats being taken for AEW. Yeah. Lower the prices. I did see an announcement talking about in 2025 AEW is looking into smaller venues for their shows.
Okay.
We'll see. Yep. Gotta put that pride aside, baby. But yeah, and shout out to everybody in the IWC, all our friends out there, and everybody interacting, good, bad, positive, negative, whatever. We appreciate the views. We appreciate the love, the support. Everybody out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, bad publicity is still publicity. So you know what? If you hate us, just keep letting us know you hate us.
Exactly. Yeah. They hate us because they ain't us. Yeah. So that's it.
So
we appreciate everybody tuning in for the WWE RRW Weekly Review. And that's pretty
deadly Jesse.
Yeah. And I'm Andrew Kombat Jones. And you've been listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast. Peace.